and I shall always hold it as a beacon for anything I may be able to do in the future. I sincerely hope I shall always be a credit to my race and to the motion picture industry. Hattie McDaniel, the first African American to receive an Academy Award, states in the 12th Annual Academy Awards in 1940. 74 years later, Lupita Nyong'o concluded her acceptance by stating, "When I look down at this golden statue, may it always remind me of every little child that no matter where you're from, your dreams are valid." The number of African Americans to receive an Academy Award is significantly lower than those of its other races. After my speech, you will understand how the history of the Oscars, how the winners are selected, and the number of nominations African Americans receive versus the number of wins. Because we are of the African American diaspora, and many of us watch movies, some with African Americans, and many of us study the arts and want to be involved in the arts, we may see some of the injustices placed upon actors and actresses in the picture industry. Being a film minor, I find the art of filmmaking and the level of expertise one must acquire very important to the evolution of today's society. I someday would love to receive an Oscar myself. From Oscars.org, on January 11, 1927, 36 people met at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles because they decided that there should be a night to honor and encourage achievements in the filmmaking industry. During the time, African Americans were not recognized in the film industry. They were not acting as themselves. Instead, they were represented by whites, known as blackface, which was already at a disadvantage for African Americans. Now that you've heard the history of the Oscars, I will present to you how the winners are selected. Lily Workney states that the voting committee, also known as the Academy, consists of 6,000 members, and of those 6,000, 94% are white males, 2% are black, and less than 2% are Latino, and the other 1% is Asian. Because there is no set rubric as to how the winners are chosen, you will find that the selection process could be a bit subjective, The Week magazine states. Knowing the disadvantage African Americans has against whites in the selection process, I will explain the number of nominations African Americans receive versus the number of wins. From research, an old member of the Academy, Nelia, states that up to 2013, there have been a total of 2,809 Oscars accepted. Of that, there were only 44 members of the African American diaspora nominated. If there were 2,809 winners, that means that there were 14,045 nominees in total since the beginning of the Oscars. Further supporting my thesis that the number of African Americans to receive or be nominated is significantly lower than those of other races. In my previous point, I help you understand that the system can be perceived as unjust given that there's a gigantic gap between African Americans and its counterparts. At the conclusion of my speech, it is in my hopes that you will now understand the unjust system from the beginning of the Oscars based on how they were chosen and how they are received numerous nominations with minimum acceptances. It is clear that the number of African Americans to win is significantly lower than those of other races. Now when you are watching the Oscars, you will be more aware of how the filmmaking industry has not changed since its beginning. Thank you.